I've never seen God. How do I know He exists?
Okay. Well, that's a good question. I don't know anybody that hasn't asked that question. That's how we know if things are real or not in the world we're in. If you can't see it, if you can't feel it, if you can't touch it, if you can't smell it, how do we know it exists? That's why we've got these senses. But there's plenty of things that exist that we can't see, feel, touch, hear, smell, taste. How about gravity? It's holding me down to this chair pretty good right now. I can't see it, but we definitely know it exists. X-rays. If I go to the doctor, get a broken bone X-rayed, you see the film. Something happened there, but I've had an X-ray before and I didn't see it. I didn't feel it. I didn't know it existed. But yet it clearly existed. Here's one. I'm sure everybody's got one of these in their home. There's a little light in the end of that thing. Take that thing and look in the end of it, your remote control, and push on all the buttons there and see if you see any light coming out the end of that. I don't see anything. But you know what? That seems to control that TV pretty good. That's infrared light that comes out of there. Can't see it, can't feel it, can't smell it, can't taste it. We know it exists. Well, let's see what the Bible has to say about this whole matter here. For since the creation of the world, God's invisible qualities, His eternal power and divine nature have been clearly seen, being understood from what has been made, so that men are without excuse. Well, these questions aren't new. The Pharisees questioned Jesus even when He was right there with them. The answers aren't new either. Jesus answered these questions by making a comparison to the weather, which brings us to the fourth example of things that we can't see but do exist. How about the wind? We can't see the wind, but we can clearly see the effects of the wind. Let's take a look and see how Jesus responded to these questions. And the Pharisees and Sadducees came up and testing Him asked Him to show them a sign from heaven. But He answered and said to them, when it is evening, you say, it will be fair weather, for the sky is red. And in the morning, there will be a storm today, for the sky is red and threatening. Do you know how to discern the appearance of the sky, but cannot discern the signs of the times? An evil and adulterous generation seeks after a sign, and a sign will not be given it, except the sign of Jonah. So what kind of proof are we looking for here anyway? Do we need a sign? Does God have to prove Himself to you? Is He on trial here? Or do you think maybe you should pursue Him? You know, if there is no God, then the question is irrelevant. But if there is a God, how do you think He feels about us demanding that He prove Himself to us? Now, you know, we have 5 senses, but we also have a conscience. Even a small child has a conscience. They know right from wrong. But they know something else too. They know love. So they, like all the rest of us, want to be loved. It's universal. We all want to be loved. So love obviously exists. But can you see love? Can you hear love? Can you taste love? You can't sense love with your 5 senses. You might be able to sense the effects of love, but you can only sense love with your heart and with your conscience. So does God exist? What does your heart tell you? What does your conscience tell you? Are you willing to bet your eternity on? Are you willing to bet your eternity on? Bet your eternity on? Bet your eternity on? If God